DFS Show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. It is Friday. We have a 6-game main slate on DraftKings to talk about, starting at 7 p.m. Late night hammers at 8 p.m. Not a bad time there, James. You'll know where you're at by the time you're having your dessert. You'll know if you're going to be cashing some checks, going into the weekend with a hefty bankroll or not. Some fun matchups.
Sounds great. Hefty bankroll. Just sounds great.
Milwaukee, San Antonio. Giannis versus Wemby. We always love that matchup when those two freaks can go up against one another.
That's De'Aaron Fox's future teammate you're talking about there.
We'll see. Denver, Philadelphia.
That's Zach LaVine's future teammate.
Which version of Nikola Jokic shows up today? The one that gets 2 fouls in 2 minutes or the one that goes for 90 fantasy points? We'll find out. Chicago, Toronto. No defense to be seen in that one. Plenty of points scored probably.
Hey. Don't you disrespect the 5-game winners of the Toronto Raptors.
True.
Possibly with Emmanuel Quickley back.
Possibly Emmanuel Quickley back. Maybe. We'll see. Which is too bad because, Grady Dick's questionable again. We could have gone to Bruce Brown, but
it's been fun.
We'll see what happens there. Dallas, Detroit. Cade Cunningham coming off another big game there. And then Clippers, Charlotte, Zubac, City, potentially here against Charlotte.
Yeah, no Mark Williams. No Mark Williams already rolled out.
So we'll see what happens as we work our way through here. 6 games, though. Your top overall spenders, as we mentioned, Jokic is $12,000. Giannis is 11.5. Wemby is 11K. Cade is 10-1 as your top priced plays on the slate. Which brings us to point guard. Cade 10-1. Maxey 97. Barnes 94. Harden 93. Dame Lillard $9,000. Where do you look to start?
Cade for sure, really good play. I think he sees a heavy dose of PJ Washington defense here. PJ's a very good defender, but Cade's obviously proven no Jaden Ivey. He's just going to take a boatload of shots. He's going to fill up the stat sheet. So I'm good with Cade at 10-1. Really nice floor. Have to love Tyrese Maxey. Just have to love current form Tyrese Maxey. He has just simply been amazing. Probably one of the stronger all-star snub cases there are, just based on how he's played over the past month and how he's played and how his team's played while everyone else has basically been out, right? And they're
a 4-game win streak.
Yeah, winners of 4 straight. They're now, dude. Sacramento, Lakers, Cleveland. Those are 3 current playoff teams.
Yeah.
Have to like the price going down after his 12th straight game of 28 actual or more.
He had 50 or more in 8 of the last 10. And he's been in 6.
In a competitive game, you're going to get 40 minutes with an upside of 43. He's played 46 minutes in a game this year. That's gone to overtime. So,
in a non-competitive game against Denver last time, he played 34 minutes.
Yeah,
he's 35. And he had 51 fantasy points.
Guy is just simply on the floor at all times. So if you want to get to some Tyrese Maxey, I think that's a great decision. We could talk Scotty at small forward since Quickley could be coming back. 35-year-old all-star selection, James Harden. Deservingly so.
More deserving than Steph.
Definitely more deserving. I think the Clippers have probably been, I put this on Twitter a week ago, but the biggest surprise in the West for a lot of people. I mean, for sure me, the biggest surprise in the West. They're currently the 5 seed, out of the play-in, and they've had Kawhi for, less than 10 games this year. Love Harden at 93. He has been unaffected by Kawhi's return. I mean, he has not been impacted at all.
He's been helped. The assist number.
Well, Well, coming off Kawhi looked.
Yeah.
That game against Spurs was unbelievable for a lot of people, but Harden included. He has been unbelievable lately, so I'm surely going there. And I think Dame Dalla, you and I were very high on him in Portland. He let us down. So did, most of,
I said they lost by 13 to that team. So
yeah, second leg of a back-to-back. Sometimes that happens. This is not the second leg of a back-to-back, and the Spurs are kind of scuffling right now. So I am definitely interested in Dame at 9K.
Agreed. Again, the price is going up slowly, but a good spot for him there. Kyrie's 88, DeJounte Murray $8,200. Jamal Murray had a huge game the other night, $7,500 for him. Giddey 72. Thoughts on the mid range?
Yeah, love Kyrie. We've kind of talked about this, but every competitive game they're just giving Kyrie monster minutes. They need to, dude. They're falling. Of all the teams suffering injuries, the Mavericks have people aren't worried because Luka's coming back, but they've lost a lot. They're in the play-in tournament right now. So they're playing Kyrie big minutes. He's obviously just coming off 47 fantasy points. So I like Kyrie. I think DeJounte is fine. It's, he is just going to be fine, I think, at this price for me, while Zion's doing what Zion's doing. Jamal Murray, you mentioned huge game the other day. Hey, look at that. 37 minutes again for Jamal Murray, because it's just what he does. He just plays monster minutes. Big games in 3 of 4, 38 plus fantasy points in those games. So definitely love Jamal Murray. Yeah, the Josh Giddey stuff is just, I don't know. Did you see what the Bulls did with their starting lineup the other day?
What did we get?
They ran Nikola Vukovic, Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Lonzo Ball.
4 guards in the center?
4 guards and Vooch. We already know there's no Levine, but I just can't get to Giddey if the minutes are going to be. I understand there was a blowout involved, but it's just the minutes are just so hard to trust. So, GPPs only for me for Giddey.
Tier below, again, maybe a returning quickly, but who knows what kind of minutes he would even see. Westbrook's $6,500. You have Kobe White, Chris Paul, Vasily Micic is here. Well, what are we doing as we work our way down into this mid-range?
Yeah, Westbrook was really good. The minutes haven't gone anywhere. They benched Christian Brown, which was...
It was still really good in that game anyway.
He was really good. He definitely benefited from the Jokic foul trouble early on. The minutes for Westbrook are kind of insane. And obviously 14 rebounds. He got to play the whole first quarter without Joker. 6,500 is good for Westbrook. They said Kobe White, 25 to 28 minutes. He played 31. So that's obviously not correct. If you want to get to Kobe White, you can. Chris Paul has definitely hit a little bit of a skid. I'm a little indifferent just because the shot volume isn't there really anymore. Especially playing alongside Stephon Castle.
Yeah, assist numbers are great, but the ceiling is kind of gone if he's not shooting.
Yeah, and there's just no rebound upside. He's 1 rebound in 2 games. Io, the minutes are fine. The production, 5,700 is, I think, a little too steep. Vasily Micic went to the locker room twice in this game. Yeah. Naturally, at a ceiling price tag, he has a ceiling game, which has just obvious written all over it, right?
And nobody played him because there was all that other value to play on that slate.
Yeah, and also if that's how I lose, so be it. And I'm going to feel the same way again. If that's how I lose because 5,500 Vasily Micic against the Clippers goes off, then so be it. And we move on to the next day.
Sure. I don't mind the Celtics guards. Holiday, 5Ks, again, fine if you wanted to get there. Balls, $4,700. As you said, they started them all. 23 minutes. It wasn't a great shooting performance like we had the day before, but under 5K, and he's getting you over 20 fantasy points pretty consistently here. So it only takes an extra steal or an extra made 3 to get the 25 fantasy points.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't lost to Lonzo yet, just given the cap.
I agree. I think that it's a safer. I think there's a good floor there.
Okay.
I think you're pretty much getting 20 to 24 fantasy points, probably in that range. Plus, you look at the matchup. Toronto's not like a great defensive team, so if he knocks down a couple threes, it just helps the ceiling there a little bit more. Plus, like, what other value at point guard are you gonna go to?
You're not wrong. Like in terms of like, what else would you go to? Sometimes we just don't have to. It's a really strong mid tier, has like super elite top end talent, and that's probably where I'll just live unless something else were to open up.
Shooting guard, we go then. Top priced shooting guard is Jaylen Brown at $7,800. Hey, under 8K, Jaylen Brown goes off again. 47 fantasy points there. I would have zero problems going to Brown. Murphy, Norm was really good. Still, even with Kawhi, even with Harden, even with Zubac, $7,100 for Norm Powell. I am happy to go there. 27 actual, 8 rebounds again. Like, doesn't make any sense with the pricing on him there. Kelly Oubre, another guy. Devin Vassell. Like, what are we? A lot of good options here at shooting guard.
Yeah, I think there is a lot. Jalen stands out, 78. He's been elite, and the price, as you've pointed out, like for a week straight. If it's going to be under 8K, Jaylen Brown makes a lot of sense. You always have the post snub game. Norm Powell probably could have been an all-star here. The production for the Clippers just hasn't gone away. I am so in. I'm spying. I'm falling all the way for the Clippers again. Especially if Norm's like their third option on night to night basis, and he's giving you 24. That's your third option. So, yeah, that's a pretty good team. I like Norm in tournaments. I think Oubre is going to be super popular here. Had a terrible game until he didn't, and then he had 35 fantasy points. That's kind of been like what Kelly Oubre's done a lot of this stretch, where he's just like not doing anything, boom, 7x return. It's like, okay, cool. So like Oubre, and I think Devin Vassell's too cheap. And he hasn't been great the last couple games, but I think
minutes have been good. Shot attempts were there last game.
Yeah, not something that I'm like necessarily worried about. It's, in Paris, 40-point loss against the Clippers, really good defensively. I'm really interested in shooting guard, small forward, Devin Vassell.
Sure. Value range, again, a lot of these guys, we know Castle, Malik Beasley, hit or miss. Nick Smith Jr. can be hit or miss. Christian Brown off the bench is really good. Bruce Brown, as we said, we'd liked. But if Quickly's back and Nick is in, probably hard to trust minutes there. Eric Gordon continues to be really good at $4,200. What do we think here for value?
Yeah, only name I'd really throw in there would be Peyton Pritchard. That's specific to not specific, but Hauser, Horford being questionable. We already know, like, Cornette will be the big. They'll probably give Jaden Springer because that's like their new guy off the bench. And then like Pritchard will just absorb like all minutes off the bench, because Boston just doesn't play a deep rotation. So if Hauser and Horford are out, I really like Pritchard off the bench just to stay on the floor. And, you never know on a game that Pritchard gets hot if they just choose to play him over like Drew Holiday or it gets to be, comfortable lead and they're just, hey, Peyton, stay out there, So,
you can definitely get hot against New Orleans, right?
Yes,
like just start knocking down threes. So.
Yeah, terrible defensive team. I mean, New Orleans just gave up 137 points. So that would be the only other name I'd probably mention in this tier. I don't think there's much
Any
else.
Gary Trent love?
What do we have for AJ Green? Questionable. I'd only consider it if AJ Green sat.
Crazy amount of 3-point attempts lately. 10, 9, 7, 10. So you gotta love that. If he just gets hot once.
Yeah. I just don't think the minutes are gonna be there like they have been if Green's healthy.
Okay. Anybody else?
I don't think so. Brandon Boston played 20 minutes for Jordan Hawkins the other day. He scored 22 fantasy points. You think if you're like game theorying a blowout, that would be the only other option.
Hawkins questionable for this game as well. So small forward again, Tatum 95 now, man. Again, another just bad Tatum game, not shooting a lot. They won by handily. They won by 12 in that game. Unplayable right now. I mean, like, I don't want to say Jason Tatum's unplayable, but he's not scoring. So
I mean,
I don't know.
If there was ever a spot to get yourself on the up and up, you thought Chicago would be
Chicago would have been it, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder. Like, it does make you wonder about the knee.
Sure.
Because he was questionable,
right? Yeah.
Going into that game, and he played 32 minutes, looked terrible. Wonder if that's been a cause of him shooting less than 42% in 5 consecutive games. So, just makes you raises an eyebrow there, John.
Yep, agreed. All right, so then we talk about Scotty Barnes. 39 fantasy points the other day, was well on his way to just being everything I wanted him to be, as we talked about in the live stream. Like, Scotty Barnes is like my favorite play. Just Washington is just horrifically bad. So he played 29 minutes. He went 10 of 19 shooting. He was going to just obliterate this slate if he was able to stay on the floor for another 8 minutes. Now he's got Chicago. I would run right back to the well with Scotty Barnes here.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just no way Chicago can go back to that lineup. They're gonna have to start like Patrick Williams or something. Just that's not who they started last game. They just can't. Or else Scotty's just gonna. I mean, it's just gonna be the easiest game of his lifetime.
Mm-hmm. I agree. He's too talented, too ability to fill up the stat sheet there. I still maintain also that someday RJ Barrett will have a good game.
That is a bold take. It's a bold take that someday he will have a good game. That's really going on a limb.
I've said it for a few slates now. I love the 19 shots we got against the Pelicans. It wasn't an awful game there, but $7,300, just no thanks at this point.
I have to, John. I want to ask you first before you ask me.
Okay.
Click on Kawhi Leonard, please.
29 minutes, 11 of 19, 47.
Oh, tell me you're not in on the Clippers.
I mean, it's hard not to like Kawhi Leonard here.
Dude. Oh, I mean, if he's playing incrementally, like 30 minutes here, I would play Kawhi. I'd play Kawhi. I think I'm at the point where I think
you kind of have to lock him in. I mean, I asked you this the other day, right? When he got up to 28 minutes, I was like, where are we? $7,200. And then they dropped this price and he played more minutes and they kept it the same, even though he had the best game of his season.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, I mean, we don't like talking blowouts, but I mean, how is Charlotte here?
How likely is it to blow out?
Yeah.
It's a 14-point spread, 213 implied points.
Yeah.
Really appealing game, let me tell you.
I know. All right, we have that mid-tier range. Anything else we're looking for? A lot of these guys you kind of touched on. Okogie flamed out. I know you were in on that call correctly. What do we think happens here at small forward?
I would take a look at Clay. He had the 24 minutes against Washington, bumped up to 29 against New Orleans, and we made all our shots again.
Yeah.
And when Klay Thompson makes all his shots, he has a very high ceiling because he, unlike any other player we've ever seen, just scorches the earth when he's making threes. Like dude, there's never been anything like Klay Thompson with the way that that he can just snowball threes. So if we're gonna get anywhere near 29 minutes again, I think Klay Thompson's legitimately in play.
I agree. Value at small forward? Do we go back to any of these Philly plays? They obviously have been starting. Edwards hasn't been great. We've talked Council coming off the bench for them. Got the minutes against Sacramento. He didn't really get the production in that game, but we know he's a high fantasy point per minute output. Like, what would you do if there's no Caleb Martin again?
If there is no Caleb Martin, he's already out. So we have no Caleb Barton.
Okay. What do you think?
Already confirmed. I would say flip a coin. I mean, I don't know. We're flipping a coin here, John.
Yeah.
I think Ricky Council is the guy that I'd prefer. We talked about it a couple slates ago, right? He's the guy that has the higher usage and has the higher fantasy point per minute output.
Yeah.
So that's probably the direction I'd go. But if you want to play Edwards as the starter, you can. I just think there's better, his teammates, the better play.
Okay.
I also got to go look at Harrison Barnes. I mean, I don't think he can continue to do what he's doing, but Harry B has been at 35 plus fantasy points in 3 straight games.
I mean, we run this with Harrison Barnes all the time, right? Like he has these just unconscious stretches where
I mean,
like there's no way he does it again, and then he does it again. Like the rebounding, the random 7 assist game. $4,700 now, though, right? Like we're catching him at the peak pricing almost. So
it's for sure expensive.
But I mean, this would be a spot for him, right? Like Milwaukee. I know. Actually, you talk a lot about Milwaukee's improving defense. So
yeah, top 10 in the league.
All right, power forward we go. Giannis is 11.5. You got Miles Bridges at 85. We got Zion at 84, and Washington at 73. You can also obviously play Kawhi here.
Yep.
Giannis is obviously in a tier of his own.
Yep.
How would you go about Bridges, Zion, and Washington?
I mean, Bridges was great the other day. They just got blown out, but he was not the reason why. At least from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah.
But that's live again. He's team to himself, but it's a terrible spot. I don't think anything in the world can stop current form Zion Williamson just with what he is doing to everybody. He is just obliterating people. And he had some interesting comments today. I don't know if you saw that, but they asked him if he could play back-to-backs. And he said, yes, I can, but I work for the New Orleans Pelicans, and they say I cannot. That was the quote. So
and they also say I cannot play 30 minutes.
And they also say I cannot play 30, but we are trending in the right direction. And this isn't just a Boston thing. Like Boston's good defensively, but they just don't. There's just nobody capable of stopping this physical specimen when he's playing like this. It's just not.
I mean, Tatum will be on him, but I mean, it just.
Yeah, but okay. I'm just saying, Tatum is a strong physical dude. He is not this physical specimen. Sure. Zion is just because he just did that against PJ Washington. PJ Washington's a better defender than Jason Tatum, and he made PJ Washington not exist.
Sure.
You can show your Boston bias.
On his own right, had 25 and 14 and 8 in that game.
Oh, PJ's amazing. PJ is in elite form.
Do you think Charlotte's looking over, being like, "Where was this?
Yeah,
where was this?"
Also, they probably are right. People caring about basketball when they leave.
We got Grant Williams for this. What? We want more. Can we get more back from this trade?
Yeah, he has been. They did, dude. They got Vasily Micic.
Yeah, and Josh Green.
No. Micic was the trade with the Trey Man and
yeah. They got Josh Green and Grant Williams.
Green, yeah.
Maybe a second or something like that. But
PJ's been unbelievable.
You've been on it since the very beginning. Without Luka Doncic on the floor, PJ Washington is a completely different player.
It is very interesting because he just realizes, right? His role is just different. You take the most ball dominant player in the NBA off the floor. It's we need somebody to be second to Kyrie. I can do that.
His role with Luka on the floor is to stand in the corner.
Literally, dude. He beat
the playoffs a couple years ago.
OKC. He beat OKC last year, standing in a corner.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, just stood in the corner last year and
8 threes.
all the way to the NBA Finals. He stood in the corner, and then now he's this guy. So yeah, I think PJ's great.
So you got Kawhi here. Did you see the report today that the Celtics have engaged talks with the Sixers on the potential Yabusele
Oh my God.
because the Celtics have like $4 million of cap space, and Yabu makes $2 million. So
Ooh, perfect fit.
they are very limited into the number of players they are able to acquire, and Yabusele is apparently on their radar.
I wonder what the Yabusele market is if like Philly wins the next couple games. Because apparently Joel Embiid was doing a handstand at practice the other day, and he hasn't played basketball in a month.
Yeah, you saw the screen grab. He's missed 50% of his career games.
Yeah, it's just, but like
trust the process.
I mean, dude, they are legitimately like a winning streak away from like.
Oh yeah, being there. I mean, we talk about all the time. The East.
They're going to be in the play-in.
A sub 500 team are like the wild card team, the playing games. So
like they're going to be a play-in team.
So we'll see if they actually move on from Yabu. But that was a report from the Celtics. One of the Celtics beat writers was that there was interest in a deal for Yabusele because he fits their available cap space needs.
So, I mean, it's a great get if that's possible. It's a great get.
I don't know what they would send, a couple of second round picks or something like that, probably, but that's what you got there. Where do you go next?
Toby was back. Finally got a good version of Toby the other day. Jeremy Sohan minutes were back, 26. I don't know if we want to do that. I think where we go next, and that probably the most popular play that we've seen yet, is $4,400 Aaron Gordon. Yeah. That would be my guess. He's played 30 minutes. He's back in the starting lineup. This is probably one of the more popular plays of the day.
I would agree with you. That makes sense.
Like if there's nothing else that changes from now until the morning, then he'll probably be the chalkiest play that we see. Like first run of ownership, he'll be atop the list.
I agree. What did Najee play in that game? Just 15 minutes?
Yeah, he was limited. That was directly from Jason Kidd said he was only going to play 15.
15 from Boucher. Is Bazulis playing at all? 20?
Yeah, he played 20.
22. Back-to-back 20-minute games. Did you get to Mondis?
Yeah, do we have Horton Tucker news? Horton Tucker's questionable. I think that would help because you're removing 2 wing players in Levine and Talon Horton Tucker. Yeah. I'm really saying, like, I really don't believe that we're gonna get the Bulls starting 4 guards again. We didn't talk necessarily Patrick Williams, John, but the minutes are back up for Patrick Williams, and the production has been really good the last 2 games. And I'm wondering. It makes me wonder, one, if this is related to the trade deadline.
Sure.
Because I think, whether or not Patrick Williams pans out, I think his time in Chicago is coming to an end really soon because he never turned into Kawhi Leonard. That's what the Bulls hoped he would turn into, like the big-handed defensive dude that develops an offensive game, and it just like hasn't happened yet. But if Patrick Williams is starting, which I almost think there's a chance he would with 4 guards starting last game, 4,200 is a really good price with the minutes on the rise. So I think, just quickly circling back to Pat Will there makes a little bit of sense.
Yep, that's fine. Center, again, Joker is $12,000. Got in foul trouble, missed basically the first quarter and a half of that game against the Knicks. Still turned out 40 fantasy points. If he had played his usual minutes, maybe we get a little bit more out of him there, maybe a triple-double. Still wasn't his best performance. I'm not making excuses there. He did not have a good game. And you even said there were comments afterwards from those who watched that he looked like he didn't really want to be there, which is kind of surprising. What do we think happens here in this matchup? Because it's a good one, given what Philadelphia's going to be putting on the floor.
Yeah, the comments were like interesting because they had talked about it like pre-MVP years. You would get this from Jokic sometimes. And they said they hadn't seen it since then, which I find very interesting. I said it to you earlier in the year that there's beat reporters talking about, it looks like Jokic is like silent protesting something. and I don't know what that could be, but yeah, I mean, I think he's more than capable of nuking any slate and putting up 70, 80, 90, 100 fantasy points. They are in a very competitive conference that they need to win games, and in order to do that, they need to play Jokic big minutes. So I'm not going to shy away from him after one bad game. The last time this happened, he put up 76 fantasy points the next day. Like, that just is what he does. He has a bad game, and then he's like, all right, on to the next one where I can just do it all over again and put up monster numbers again. So yeah, I mean, I think Jokic is great. I think Giannis is great. I think Wemby's great. And you could play any of them, any three of them, and you'll be happy with the result. But I am very firm on my stance. It is Jokic or bust for me, like almost every time.
Yeah.
Until the price is risen, because like as good as Giannis has been, and as good as Wemby can and will be, like we just haven't seen the types of triple doubles out of the others as frequently as we get from Jokic. I'm not saying they can't, because they can. And Giannis can drop 60 actual. Would that surprise you? No. And Wemby can give you a 30-point blocks triple double. And would that surprise you? No, it wouldn't. But they don't do it as frequently as Jokic. He is quite literally averaging a triple-double again on the year. So my stance remains the same because the price is still too cheap.
Sure. You got Vuk versus Toronto. Again, we've seen Vuk put up some pretty big numbers in these spots without Levine. Zubac at Charlotte. We've seen teams, again, continue just to torment the Charlotte Hornets here. We know what he is capable of, even with Kawhi having his game. James Harden having his game. Norm Powell having his game. Ivica Zubac went for 56 fantasy points, 21 points, 22 rebounds.
And he tried to fight Wemby. And Wemby tried to fight him, and he tried to fight Wemby.
And Wemby tried to fight him. He did cheap shot Wemby.
He did. It was definitely
he did cheap shot him.
No, it was definitely I'm not defending him. I'm just pointing out.
Lucky that wasn't Nikola Jokic, because Jokic would have given him 2 forearms to the back and given him whiplash. And
sure, never played again.
End his career.
End his career.
End his career. I mean, dude, again, the biggest concern here is just the competitiveness of this game.
Yes.
Because, I mean, if they're in a blowout, does he play 34 minutes? Does he get 56 fantasy points?
Very fair question. Very fair questions.
I like Zubac. This is a great matchup for him. Very hard to trust. For $100 cheaper, you can just play Gafford, who's also out there just giving you 50 bombs. So
he's been awesome.
And I mean,
flat out been awesome.
Duran on the other side, Beef Stew getting ejected super quick again, just out here trying to fight everybody on the floor,
pointing guns. There was a gesture over at the opposing bench with a gun. I mean,
there's something mentally wrong with him.
Do you know who his college teammate was, and how chaotic this must have been for opposing teams?
His college teammate?
Yeah, guess who? Okay, Chaos. It's obviously not one of the Thompson brothers, but Chaos, and I'm specifically talking people trying to score on him. Oh yeah, he is
currently an NBA player.
Currently, Western Conference. Think like elite defensive players in the Western Conference.
What college did you go to?
I think it was Kansas State.
Kansas State.
I believe it was Kansas State. Was it Pac-12? I think it was Kansas State. Do you want me to just tell you? He's currently playing basketball.
Okay.
As we record this show. There's only 2 games playing.
As we record this show?
There's only 2 games playing. 3, I guess, but 2. Chaos defensively. We're talking
Jaden McDaniels?
Jaden McDaniels and Isaiah Stewart were on the same college basketball team. I found that out today. That must have been the worst time for anyone that
for most, on
the other side.
Because you're getting locked down by Jaden McDaniels, but worried about getting stabbed by Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, you're gonna get in a fight. At every level, you would go to try to attack offensively.
Yeah, I always like the. Do you remember the Tyler Hansborough in the NBA where he gets pushed and he turns around, sees the run our test, and he just says never mind?
No, I did not, but that's awesome.
Yeah, he gets like shoved from behind. He gets up like he's about to like start something, and he sees his Artest. He's like, never mind, I'm good. I don't need that. I don't want that smoke. We're all set.
Was Artest meta world peace yet, or was he still?
He might have been meta world peace at that time, yeah. But he wanted absolutely nothing to do once he turned around to see who bumped him. So, anyways, long way to get back to Daniel Gafford here. Elite spot, guy's been unbelievable. So
yeah,
can certainly save $100 and go there. What happened with Chris Porzingis against Chicago? 34-11, 33 minutes. Is that the season high? Almost 34, 35 a few times. 10 of 18, 8 of 14 from 3. I mean, we know what happened with Tatum in this game. It just went to Porzingis.
Yeah. I mean, that's always been in the cards, right? This is why I always like tell you it's so hard to get to like a lot of Boston, because you get these games because Kristaps Porzingis can be a number one option in the NBA and like score a bunch of points, and just everyone else is like, whoa, that human being shouldn't be doing that. So
yeah, you just forget that he's a 20+ point per game scorer,
right?
You know,
because he has 2 all NBA players playing alongside him every night, and then half the time he's not playing. So like
or he's playing 26 minutes.
He's playing 26 minutes. So Zinger in tournaments. I mean, dude, Yves Missi.
They're $7K. You just leave them there.
I assume this is a lot of small ball for New Orleans, because like you can't play Yves Missi against. I just don't think Yves Missi stands a chance.
You're gonna go small ball against a stretch 7-3. Like,
there's no answer. Like
and you know what's killing them. You're gonna laugh when I say this. Is that Daniel Tice might not play in this game. Like Daniel Tice would at least be the guy that could go out to the perimeter and like try to defend Porzingis.
I think it's probably Zion.
Okay.
Just from like
he's a foot taller than Zion.
I know, but it's but athleticism wise, like
sure.
Zion can make up that ground pretty quickly.
Yeah, if they get it, if he puts Zion on the block, he has 0 shot. Zion has 0 shot. He'd have to steal it. He'd have to get steals.
Yeah, I mean, physically, Porzingis won't move him, but he'll shoot. He can shoot over him.
He'll just turn around, little bunny hook. Anyways, Porzingis is there. Other side of that matchup for Vucevic, Jakob Poeltl.
Yeah, he's been good.
On pace, because again, every team smashes Washington. Even Jackson Hayes can get you double doubles. But Jakob Poeltl continues to be really good. Again, 12, 8, and 6 in that game in 27 minutes. If you want to go there at $6,600, you can. We're almost entering sort of the same situation we had the other day, where like center mid tier is so elite.
Yep.
That 20% of the field is just in on Jokic, and we get like maybe some leverage with the best player in the NBA there.
Yeah, and Jalen Duren for that matter. Salute to Jalen Duren. He's been pretty awesome for
the minutes. Actually, I mean, it helps when your backup gets ejected, right? But
True. And when you can stay out of foul trouble, dude. True. Like when you can just stay on the floor. I mean,
dude, we thought this kid was going to be a monster the way he started last year.
Boy, we'll never forget that 8-game stretch before that injury that just ruined it all.
Points a night. We're like, holy crap.
I mean, look, 30+ fantasy points in 6 of his last 7 games. I mean, that's definitely something. Like, there's obviously been something. And look at all these games. I mean, he is absolutely dominating the glass. He is blocking shots every night. And availability is all that's like ever evaded him, right? Just like being able to stay on the floor. Maybe Detroit's
being what Mark Williams is doing, and like, oh man, we can't look bad here because we traded Mark Williams for Jalen Duren. We should probably play Jalen Duren here.
True.
I agree. Obviously, he has been super efficient around the rim. He's got a couple of perfect shooting nights, over the last handful of games here. And to your point, staying on the floor is super useful. So, and what's Gafford, right? Gafford's a decent shot blocker.
Good shot blocker. Yeah,
he's not a good defender. Yeah. We were hammering that when he was at Washington. So
yeah.
Diabate, we imagine again gets the minutes. 26 fantasy points there. Fine. Still cheap for
Dude,
a guy.
he's been good. He's been good when he gets extended. He's been good here. I think
really
this
good matter, right? Like,
I think
the offense has been a bit surprising. You know?
Boom, that right there. Like the rebounding, he's great. He gets a lot of offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
The scoring.
The last 2 times he's been extended, 6 free throw attempts, 7 free throw attempts. He's getting O-rib fouled.
Yep.
Right?
The scoring has been the key to why we're going to be comfortable paying 4,200 for Musa, because like probably earlier in the year we weren't, even when he was extended. It was like, really, we have to go there. But 4,200. A lot of lineups are going to start Aaron Gordon 4,400, Musa Diabate 42, and then like, what do you decide from there, right? Spend up for Jokic. Yeah, pay. Not Embiid.
No, I said Cade.
I was like, Embiid?
No, Cade. Pay for Cade.
I was like, all right, Anthony, talking your 76ers propaganda on this show.
Shout out, Anthony.
Shout out, Anthony.
Listen, you can also go some Jalen Smith here, 23.
Yeah. Did they double big? 23 minutes. I know they got house, so I'm assuming it's just
a little blow run, but just like, again, the fantasy point per minute, just insaneness here. 19 and 14 minutes in those 2 games, 20 and 18, 16 and 14. He's going to give you more fantasy points than the minutes he played. So
you're not wrong. You're
4K
not wrong.
against Toronto could be a good spot for him.
You're not wrong.
Murder Cornette got sat in that game. That's probably it.
Yeah, that's it.
Do we just click this? I mean, there's a lot of good centers on the slate.
Do Musa and do Gordon, and let's go from there.
Gordon, Diabate. Nice.
I think that feels good. Just like plug those 2 values, because I don't know if there's any like other. Did we like anything else like a lot? Was there anything specific?
I mean, Kawhi.
I was talking value. Like, was there anything specific?
Oh, Kawhi value. Well, hey, we talk about this all the time. And you said it on the show with Keith. You look at a player like, Kawhi Leonard at $6,900, and you don't think value.
Yes.
But he is a value at $6,900.
You're right. Let me rephrase. Are there any cheap options that we can get to? Eric Gordon, probably Philly stuff, right?
We would like to play Bruce Brown.
Yeah, we'd like to play Bruce
Brown. Ricky Council. Like, I'd play Ricky Council again.
Yeah,
or Eric Gordon.
What do you
Gordon
think?
Starts, right?
Yeah, Gordon starts.
But Council's going to get minutes and blowouts. Like, they play that guy. Gordon doesn't.
And they just kind of played him. I know the Lakers game, you and I were obviously like on full like what the heck just happened mode, but
sad. So here's the worst part. Those of you who tuned in, you heard us talk about it. We even went back and forth on the Ricky Council, Justin Edwards debate, where I was like, Ricky Council is the better usage rate player, the better fantasy point per minute player, but they're going to start Justin Edwards because Nick Nurse likes him. And then we said, well, maybe we just stay and we just play Ricky Council. And then we didn't. we swapped. And Ricky Council is everything we said he was.
And we were absolutely sweating that. We were sweating so hard on the Edwards.
Thank God for those steals from Justin Edwards there at the end of that game. But then you get 29 minutes out of Ricky Council in Sacramento. He didn't play well only because of the peripheral stats. Yep. He didn't give you any of the peripheral stats you're usually getting out of him when he gets extended. So I'd be more than okay going back to Ricky Council here if we think he just has a higher fantasy ceiling again than Edwards. So
same.
Just to talk ourselves into that play there. Council head forward. So that's 75. I mean, we have plenty of money, probably even to double spend if we wanted to. So, like, do you go Maxey? Do you go Barnes? Do you go Jokic?
I am good with any 3 of those.
The Joker still gives us $6,100. If we did Maxey and Joker, it's $4,300. So we would need like another like straight up value to build that out there.
Yeah. What about
I mean, Oubre is 63.
I like. I mean, that game's pretty appealing. 230. Four. Let's see. Four, almost every game on this slate except Charlotte. Every game on the slate except Charlotte Clippers is between 228 and 231 implied points. Every game on the slate sits in that range.
What'd you do, Beasley? Guys, minutes are back up. He's knocking down shots.
Yeah, I mean he's fine. We know we this is not like if you play Malik Beasley, you know what it is, right? Like he has a ceiling and he doesn't. Only thing I'd say here is like we are going to want to not be in like the value tier of point guard. Like I think that there's too many like 7K and up point guards that we'd want to get to.
Well, I mean, we can, like I said, we can take out Jokic. I mean, go to Maxey on the other side of that. Play Scotty Barnes. Play Cade. I mean, Cade can go over 60 plus. I mean, it's not out of that realm.
Do Maxey and then maybe move off Oubre so we're not like just full stacking Philly, which I'm not totally against. I'm just saying I think.
No, I mean I feel you. I didn't really want to go full on game stack on that one because it's Philly's got nobody. So
yeah,
that one could get ugly.
Would you play Vassell 61 or?
Yeah, Vassell's fine. Obviously, we want something to do with that matchup. It just feels weird with a Jokic Giannis slate not having a Jokic or a Giannis in the lineup.
Then we could play him. I just think then just move off Kawhi then.
I mean, if we did Giannis, it's 4,500. We have another value. It's probably like Eric Gordon or Christian Brown. Maybe a 42 guard. Or Gary Trent or something like that. And just gets you Giannis in this spot.
Yeah, it's just
I don't really love the Eric Gordon thing.
I don't like the Eric Gordon with Council as well. And like
go Cade Maxey with again kind of a rough tier.
Cade Maxey 56 util.
Yeah.
Could go Clay there. If he makes shots, I mean he's been unbelievable. You could do here. Let's see.
I want to get to like one of these mid-tier centers somehow. I probably have to get off Cade then.
I was gonna say we can move off Kawhi. I don't know if we want to move off Kawhi, but we could.
Yeah, I mean, again, if that game blows out, maybe he doesn't get the full minutes. He's been really good for the per dollar, but we play like Vassell instead, I guess, there. Save a little bit more cash. Go back to Cade at 64. And gets us back to Oubre or Jalen Duren, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, I would prefer Duren. I think Duren's interesting in tournaments for sure.
All right. Maxey, Brown, you're cool with Brown?
I don't love it because I don't know what the minutes are going to look like if they're going to actually start Aaron Gordon and Jokic stays out of foul trouble.
Beasley, Pritchard are here as well. So
just for context, Christian Brown's. I mean, he didn't close. They just closed with the first half with the starting five. He did close the game, but he played it was a 1 minute stint. He checked in for Jokic. I just don't see how we get back to like the minutes he was at, I think
can have. So I got rid of Cade, put Scotty Barnes, still like a decent boost down too, and then we can play like you said, Clay or this is just a bad range. This is a bad guard range.
It's a bad range, yeah.
Can we move Vassell there? Let's see. Does Vassell have shooting guard? I go Vassell, go Council, and Ford. Small forward. All right, so now we have 58 for Ford. Toby. Back to that same spot, I guess. It's just a bad range.
Yeah.
Bad range.
You can also like spend up here. If you wanted to do like Patrick Williams 42, and then we have a low like maybe Daniel Gafford. Put Pat Will in there.
78 gives us Jaylen Brown, Jamal Murray, Zubac, Cafford. Yeah, all these guys.
PJ, like we have, and I like that range much better than the one we were just
I
sitting
agree.
in.
Okay. Probably Gafford here.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no wrong answer. I think Jalen's great. I think Gafford, Zoo, well, not. I think PJ is great. I think all those guys are elite.
We'll go with Gafford for now. All right, Maxey, Vassell, Council, Gordon, Diabate, Barnes, Williams, and Gafford. $400 left over. And play around with there. Can move it around. We'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. You guys have the latest news and updates throughout the day. Of course, we'll build another lineup and see where we land that go around. We appreciate you all tuning in. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know who you're looking to build your lineups around. Do you feel the need to play Nikola Jokic on these slates? You let us know. Till then, we'll see you later.